program. Cognitive experience, cognitive program. Look. You just wait till I get to the over here, and then you wanna stop behind the bus, right, and foil your lips, right? That's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. So when they engage in certain behavior like her she did here, I don't know what you doing, lady. Always look for what they do. Grabbing their collar, touching themselves. You see them grabbing their breasts. You know, in front of me. Hear the sirens, right? Exposing the shit that they do, right? Yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll have women walk up to me and just grab their breasts in front of me. I think I might have even shown you guys on video, also grabbing their crotches too. You know, hilarious. It looks like it's gonna rain, and I left a little early too. I left a little after 8. So let's see what time it is now. It is 8:33. How do you like that? Let's check the bus schedule, see when the next bus is coming. I think I see a bus. I'm not quite sure, but where we at here? Where we at here? Where we at? Wow. Look at that. 31 minutes. Look at this shit. 31 minutes to Crown Heights. Right? Look. So you have 2 buses, actually 3 buses that's going to be, that's one across the street right there. Right? And another one is coming soon. Look at that. What happened? NY Predator Department not around, so they got to use the, what is it, it's a truck? That's a truck. What is that? Okay. It's a flatbed truck. Alright, so they got the flatbed truck over there. I keep telling you, what do you think they do? When they can't use, when I expose them and showing a pattern of how they engage in harassment, right? Called psychological warfare, noise campaign, right? Then they think that they're gonna win in terms of continue to do what it is that they do, and I'm going to be silent about what it is that they're doing. That's not gonna happen. I keep telling them I'm gonna always win, because I'm about truth. They gotta lie. Look at their history. Right? Yeah, they're some of the biggest liars. Okay? Malcolm X said they will assault you, right? Give you, send you to the hospital and then charge you with assaulting them. Right? And we've seen that hasn't changed. We've seen it, you know, how they will also add on fictitious and fabricated charges, which is a crime in itself. Right? But they do it. So when I talk about criminals in position of authority, criminals walking around driving with a gun and a badge, I don't say that because I hate cops. I say that because the cops that have engaged in covert warfare and psychological warfare against me, against my people, and against the public, they're the criminals. They are the criminals, and they're shielded, right? Because they got a gun and a badge. Okay? Right? Now, crooked predator cops can kill someone, you know, get 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is. Some of them might get 20 years. But you kill one of them and they're giving you over 100 years, which is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, just the mindset that they would even come up with such a number, right? Oh, well, we're going to give you 200 years in the pet. Like, come on, you're going to be dead then. What you going to do? Not going to return the bones? Like, this shit is ridiculous, man. I just tell you how sadistic and evil, right, this system is and what it does. Because it makes no sense, right? And when I talk about the mental illness within the system in itself, it is built into the system and it's built into us through many forms of indoctrination. Right? The madness and the craziness is what it is that they do. And on my post, I think I put a post where I talk about destructive cults, right? And how when they engage in curse and persuasion program and all these things, how it leads to the degradation of the society and the minds of the people, right? And so many people don't quite understand what's going on, right? Because they're so conditioned, because they're believers. When you don't know anything else except for a side of your religious belief system, you got a job, you know how to do your job, but that's it. You don't think. And I said, most people within the public sphere don't think. You look at, they keep voting for the same politician over and over again, based on certain criteria, which has never served them any purpose. When you look at the tax breaks given to the millionaire class, doesn't matter who it is, whether Republican or Democrat, right? It is an outright theft of the public, from the public, stealing from the poor, giving to the rich. Right, but they like to talk about trickle-down economics, right? You know what I'm saying? Trickle-down economics, and it never works. But they continue to do that, right? So what does that tell you? Like I said, the definition of insanity is that you do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, and it never happens. So you cannot keep voting the way you have to become an educated voter. Right? You have to start voting on an issue, not because this person is black or white or Asian or Indian, have you. And when you select those people, you got to make sure that they're going to do the job for people. And let me just say this, and I'm going to be clear on this. Right? For black people, European people, going forward, if you're voting, vote for people that's going to give reparations to black Americans of enslaved, who are the descendants of enslaved Africans brought to the United States. Brought to this nation, or this land, I should say. That is a must. That is a must. And we need to let other groups of people know that reparation is due. It's due to them. Okay? It is due. All right? Like I said, you have people out there who are not really, they talk about reparations, but they're not really serious. I'm talking about politicians. They're not really serious. When you look at the theft of black music, the theft of black creations and invention, the theft of the black workers in America, I was one of them. All right? So we got all that noise in the background there? Yeah. Yeah, so I talk about reparations, right? They don't like to hear that shit at all. Listen how loud they are. Look, listen. Right? And there was like, I think I heard like more than one of them. But no, I just hear. So yeah, look, left early, right? And I gotta. What the heck is this? Look at this. Right? So I gotta I got to tell you and show you guys exactly what it is that they do. As soon as I talk about reparations, right here another set of sites. Yeah, I told you I heard two sets, actually 3 sets now. Those 2 that passed, I told you I heard 2 sets of sirens. But how do I know? Because my ears are so tuned to what it is that they're doing, right? All right, well, there you go, another bus coming. I'm not sure if it's the bus that I need, but I'll show you guys on the schedule. It says, like, how is it half an hour? Really? At 8:30, I show you the time, right? 8:30 something? I'm saying it's not even after 10, you know? Not even after 11 o'clock. I would expect me to wait that long if it's after 12 o'clock at night. Not 8:30. You know, that's ridiculous. Right? It is ridiculous. Also today, before I forget, you know, I had downloaded, there was a free game on Microsoft, Modern Warfare 2. And it was free, so I downloaded it, right? I said, okay, let me play it, you know, because I was looking to buy the game, but you know, when it goes on sale, it doesn't go under like $34. I think it was like $35 lowest I've seen it for. So I was like, I'm not getting it, you know. Me, I liked it when I the only game I've bought within the past couple of years that I didn't even pay full price for it, I bought on sale, was Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Only because of the zombie campaign. You know what I'm saying? I love the zombie campaign. Never could have figured out, like when I just play to kill zombies. I don't really do all that, you know, Easter egg stuff, because you know, even if I attempt to do it, I just can't do it, right? Because not only that, because you know, my short-term memory was so damaged, right, that I was like no. And then they would try to help me out, right? And I couldn't do it. Walking back and forth. Couldn't do it, right? So I bought the Call of Duty Black Ops 6, played it for, I spent a lot. Played by myself. The only, have I even tried any of the Easter eggs? Even in, I don't think so. I don't think I ever tried any of the Easter eggs by myself. You know, so like I said, it's just, you know, because they were targeting me so heavily that I couldn't do it. You know, so I just, you know, played it. I just played for the rounds, right? So you see what high rounds that I went to. I think the highest round I ever went, I would play with others, was like 50 something rounds, I think. And you know, but anyways, before I bent off into something arm related, but I said, let me play. So I launched the game, and sorry, ambulance on it, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? You know, it's my account, right? My Microsoft account, but my son's name is on the account. Like, how is that possible? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how is that possible? But when I talk about how they hack into your account, hack into my account, particularly my Microsoft account, that's why, you know, I started using my Google account for some of the you know, the online sites, platform that I have. All right, so I started switching to my Google account because, again, they were constantly hacking into my Microsoft account. So now I gotta call my son and ask and see what's going on. All right, so because it's ridiculous, right? I'm launching because he has his own Microsoft account. Right now, when he was younger, I had created. I let him use my account because he was younger, and I wanted to make sure that he is not, you know, signing up or anything with any playing certain games, you know, or also have, because he was under my family plan, that I make sure that, you know, like in terms of making sure that he's not up for hours playing games and stuff like that. Same thing with my daughter, right? Until, you know, I give her own account. But to see that happen again, right? I guess it's ridiculous, right? And this is what I'm talking about: the constant interference, the constant hacking, you know, the constant sabotage Even when I was playing Division today, and what they were doing, because my character has powered up. I should say how much I'm playing, right? my character in the Division has powered up, and so you have these other gamers playing the Dark Zone, and you can go rogue, right? So they will go rogue. I would be like in a firefight, right? I'll be like in a firefight, so they'll wait around, and then they'll come in and start shooting me from the back, right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. Restart it, go back to the same started, attacking them also. Then all of a sudden, they started interfering with my connection, right? They started interfering with the Wi-Fi. So now, my FPS went from like 120 something all the way down to like 60 something, and even went down to like 40 something. So I'm just like, okay, what's going on here? And I noticed that whenever those those perps come into the game like that, right, they will do that. Why? Because it's like, again, trying to send subliminal threats, what have you. But then there were other players that came in the game and start killing their asses, right? They start killing their asses. So I'm like, all right, well, there you go. You're doing that, so somebody going to do that to you too. There you go. So you see, even in the online gaming platform, when you expose them, like I said, there are good people out there, man, and I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We all should appreciate it. And they'll give them a taste of their own medicine also. Which is, and I'm like, man, the fact that they cheat like that, that's how they win. They cheat. That's the only way they can win is to cheat. You know what I'm saying? The only way they can win is to cheat. So when I experience stuff like that, I also attribute it to what they do within the society. That they cheat, they lie, they deceive. Because that's the only way that they can win. All right, and that's it. When it comes to, when you look at sports, right? You look at certain sports that they never that they didn't want to let black people in. And what happens? Black people have shown that not only their racist ideology is a lie, and what they believe about black people is a lie. Because when you look at, particularly in the NFL, you have black quarterbacks. You had a black quarterback who won the Super Bowl championship in the 1980s. Okay, and that who was it? Played for the Redskins. But at the time, he used to play for the Redskins, right? And they changed their name now. But is it Doug Williams? He won the Super Bowl championship, right? You know what I'm saying? Look at Russell Wilson, won the Super Bowl championship. Who else? What's his name? Jalen Rose. What's his name? Jalen something. Jalen Hurt, something like that. The Philadelphia Eagles won a championship. What's his name? The Kansas City Chiefs won a few championships. So the fact that they try to say that, look, I remember Warren Moon. Warren Moon was a damn good quarterback. And Warren Moon had one of the greatest arms, in my mind, better than Joe Montana. Okay? I mean, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice. They had Jerry Rice. Who else did he had? He had, and then, they had good running back, good defense. But when Warren Moon played for the Oilers, the Houston Oilers, Warren Moon was the original, when they talk about balling out, that was Warren Moon. Okay, Warren Moon could have balled out. You know what I'm saying? Randall Cunningham is another one. They just didn't have the team built around them to win, championship. But then, you have other white quarterbacks who didn't have team around that had amazing arms. You look at Dan Marino, never won a championship because he didn't have the team built for a championship. If he had went anywhere else, he could have won a championship, right? You look at who else? There are a few others. I can't remember it right now, but yeah. Anyhow, it is raining out here. And this, again, the retaliation with the buses. I have my bag on my shoulder. My shoulder's getting very, very worried right now. Let me see. I mean, I guess I could just look at the app, right? Oh yeah, but it's crazy, right? That I got look. I keep telling you, it's retaliation. This is what they do, and the fact that you have these bus operators who are actually participating in this sort of behavior, it's ridiculous, right? It really is. I try to be cordial to everybody. What the hell happened here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 17 minutes, man. Look, New York Predator Department. Look at him. Look at him. New York Predator Department. Look at them. Look at them. Look, see, driving slow. Look, it's all planned, right? See the Jewish guy walk past me and put his hands over his mouth. Fuck y'all, I ain't being quiet for nothing. I keep telling y'all, I'm gonna expose y'all. I am not being quiet. Let me tell you, I am not going to allow you guys to get away with what it is y'all done to me. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So I don't know what the hell you want to be silent as hell. It ain't working with me. Oh, you hear the sirens now? You hear the sirens now? I said, fuck y'all. I'm not going, because I'm not. I can tell them, my purpose. I know they're wondering, like, damn, this dude, his purpose is great. We're doing all of this to him, and he's still exposing what it is that we're doing. Yeah. Because this is bigger than me, right? My concern is not only for my children and my family, but society, and particularly my people as a whole. Right? Their agenda is to microchip black people. Right? They've been doing it. Like I said, how many black people have they microchipped? Particularly my brothers and sisters who have been incarcerated and come out of the penal institution, or have been institutionalized and come out of the psychiatric institutions. How many of them are microchipped? How many of them? That's what I always say. That's what I'm thinking about. It's just like, black people being convicted of crimes they didn't commit. How many more? These are questions that we should be not only thinking about and asking about, but we need to pay attention to these things. All right? When you have almost, 70% or something like that, of the people being exonerated are black people, that's crazy. Black men in particular, that's crazy. That's a high number. So when they talk about justice is blind, the fact is that this system is not about justice. Some people may get justice, but this system is not about justice. Okay? This system is about people who are psychopathic in nature, sociopaths in positions of authority, and they abuse their authority because, it makes them feel good and it advances their career. That's all that is. And what's she doing? Like, I can tell you, they'll do that walking back. Like, she angry, and they turn. Holy shit. Shit, my phone wasn't even turned. I should have. As I said, what she do? She turned around, walk back, then turn back around again, walk back this way, then turn back around, walk back the other way. Hilarious, man. Hilarious. And then you hear the New York Predator Department sirens, right? That's to tell you. That's to tell you that's what they do. Then let's see if they're gonna show themselves though. That's what I want to see. Show yourself. Show yourself. I just say, show yourself, man. Predators. Look at all the gray vehicle. Right? Another one here. Okay, that's a gray van. Alright? Yeah, let's go. See? Let's go. Again, showing you guys what they do. They are Predator Department using the European female, using the Hasidic Jews to engage in targeting. Alright? All of a sudden, don't worry, there'll be a red vehicle following behind soon. Oh, she got her book bag. That's why she walked over here. See? Look. See? What? Am I good or am I not good? Am I not an expert in what it is that they do? Huh? Am I not an expert in exposing what it is that they're doing? Okay. Look, y'all thought I was kidding, huh? Look. Look, gray vehicles, right? Look. Oh, here you go. Now they're flooding with the red. There you go. See what I talk about? There you go. 1, 2, 3, right? There you go. I'm good, man. Let me tell you, I'm good. And when I talk about, I say I'm good, meaning that, because of the patterns, being able to show the patterns and how they do it, right? And how they will now try to break it up by now having another. See the red vehicle? See, follow the red vehicle. There you go. Another one coming across the street with a red bag right over there. Okay. You think this is coincidence? It's not coincidence. Look, what I just said. Didn't I just say that it's going followed by the color red or red vehicle? Look, another one right there. Right? Look. Oh my goodness. I am good. Let me tell you. Like I said, I am an expert. Another gray vehicle. I am an expert. Now look, the hand signal and pointing a hand like a gun. Look at the other one looking to warn her. Yeah. They're so slick, man. Let me tell you. Yeah, so slick. Look. All right. Pay attention, people. Pay attention. I'm showing you guys exactly what they do and how they do it. Like I said, they know what they're doing is highly criminal, highly illegal. And, I guess that's why they're getting rid of those scientists, because they know the truth. There was a female scientist who said that she was being targeted. Okay, yeah, there you go. Like I said, how many more people have they done this to? Right? How many people have they done this to, right? How many more? Right, these motherfuckers gonna really have us, have me out here waiting. I mean, they just collateral damage, right? Okay? They just collateral damage in terms of, them. You don't have to wait half. And it's been more than half an hour now. All right? Is it? Let's see. Almost half an hour. Let me see. There's a bus coming. Let's see if that's the bus. Let's see if that's it. Let me check the schedule. Let me check the bus schedule. Okay, look. See what it says? 14 minutes. All right. So what happened to the all right, what happened to the half an hour? What happened to the 15 minutes? What happened to what was it again? 17, 18 minutes? What happened to that? Now we're down to 14 minutes? Like, come on, man. Come on. Look. Color gray. I guess they wanted to see by trying to send me that subliminal message if I'm going to become silent. So I said, hell, fuck it, no. You ain't silencing me, and you're not going to get me to silence myself, and that's not going to happen. If you're going to silence me, you do it. I'm not going to do it. Just like you trying to isolate me, no, I'm not going to isolate myself. If I have somewhere to go, I'll go. All right? That's as simple as that. I'm going to start the coughing sound now. Now they're projecting the coughing sound. All right? But again, I want to show you guys how they use how they, infiltrated even every aspect within the society, from the transit system to the police department to become the Predator Police Department, to the fire department to become the New York Fecal Department, right? The schools, the different institutions, hospitals, and so forth and so forth. These are religious fanatics. These are religious fanatics. When we talk about a takeover of the U.S. government by religious fanatics using technology, particularly those who were in the military, who have developed technology for mind control, and when in cognitive warfare, right? So cognitive warfare was the purpose, to demoralize a population of people, or individuals, without to engage in warfare without having to engage in kinetic warfare. So they do non-kinetic warfare, right? Which is using covert means, covert psychological means, whether it be propaganda to feed the masses lies, but it's also attack on their ability and their emotions, their ability to have emotions, right? To dumb down the emotions, or to nullify or neutralize the emotions. So they're not angry or anything like that. They're not angry, they're not mad. When they see what's going on, they just like, oh, well, it's end times. Like, fuck out of here. End times. Why would you want it to be end times? You know what happens in the end times? You're going to die, dumbass. They're going to die. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen in end times. In end times, they're going to die. Do you understand? But let them walk down the street and hear gunshot. And them motherfuckers be ducking and running behind cars and diving for cover, right? I mean, shit, I'll do it too. I'm not going to start up there and not, duck or run for cover. That's just human instinct, right? You know what I'm saying? That is just human instinct, right? But the fact they like to talk about it being end time because it's war. Listen, they did the same thing in the early 2000s in the Iraq War. They did the same. They said the same shit in the first Gulf War. They said the same shit in Vietnam. They said the same shit in the Korean War, World War II, and so forth and so forth. Every time there's some war, they always talk about it's end times. And we pass on that same bullshit down to our children, and they go to become adults, repeating the same bullshit about end times. Like, come on. While the world is striving for peace, these motherfuckers are striving for end times. Right? So who's the crazy ones? Right? Tell me, who is the crazy ones? Like I said, my people don't understand what it is that they're believing in, because it's a powerful indoctrinated tool. It's a powerful brainwashing tool. Right? And I tell you, my people are, look, see what's flooded with the color red? Right? My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because they have become too religious, too superstitious. Right? It's in your Bible. Right? I think it's in Corinthians. I don't know exactly what passage or what verse, but it's in Corinthians. He walked by taking a puff of his cigarette or weed or whatever the hell he has in his hand. But anyway, but yeah. So we are a nation of people that we're conditioned into becoming believers. It is now ingrained within our DNA. So every time a young black child is born, particularly a young Negro child is born, by the time he reaches 4 or 5 years old, he's already indoctrinated with religious nonsense. He will spend the rest of his childhood being indoctrinated in lies and fear, right? Not love, fear. Do you understand? right? And that's traumatic in itself. See, we don't quite understand how we put our children through trauma by telling them that they're going to go to hell if they don't believe in Jesus. We don't understand that. You should never say that to a child. But because of the religion, they accept it, right? So like I said, when other groups of people begin to target Christians got nothing to, they shouldn't say anything, because they have been doing it to other groups of people for millennia. Right? They've been doing it to non-believers, believers of other religions. They've been doing it to people of different culture, different ethnicity. That's the craziest shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, ridiculous. Like I say, hey, believe what you want to believe. Okay, but have some knowledge behind it. Have some knowledge behind it. Not just in your beliefs, but have some actual knowledge. Pay attention to the reality of what's going on. Until you understand your mindset as a believer, right? Until you understand your mindset as a believer, you're going to continue to be manipulated, used, and abused. And that's what they do. Particularly when they use children. It's abusive. Right? It is abusive. Jeez. Same vehicle. I see the car. I heard the car honk, and the vehicle made the turn. Not the same color, but it's the same makeup model, right? It's that Ford vehicle. Hilarious, man. Hilarious. So, like I said, the haters who love to call other people haters, I gotta laugh because this shit is hilarious. The haters calling other people haters. The haters who plot behind your back. The haters who stalk you. The haters who spread propaganda, get others to participate in targeting you. Those are the haters. And because you're not accepting what it is that they're doing, they're going to call you a hater, right? I mean, that's the hypocrisy of the religious minded people. That's the hypocrisy of their mind. Because like I said, me as a person, I would never. Person come to me and be like, hey, I don't like this guy, so you should hate him too. Okay, fine. It makes you a dumbass. And the reason why people will do that to get you to hate other people because they hate them is because either they can't be like them, they're jealous of them in some way, and they want what's theirs, right? Or the fact that people may respect them, and because they're not respected as much, they got to make you hate them too, right? Like I said, it's a destructive mindset. It's a sadistic mindset. But when it comes to the believing minds, it is a sadistic mindset, right? It is. Looking down at your shoes for a lady. Why are you staring at me for, lady? I'm too old for you. She look like she in her 30s. But like I said, not interested. Okay, so it's 5 minutes. Look, 5 minutes. So imagine that, right? I had to wait for over 50 minutes, right? That's what you looking, brother. I don't know what you looking for. Look, not in service. Look at that shit. So again, I had to wait for almost an hour for a bus, and I left early. Okay, I left just a few minutes after 8. I should have been home already. But these criminals, right? These criminals, that's what they'll do. And it is a crime, like I said, Tell you. Where's Mayor Mandani? He needs to see my video. Somebody forward my video to Mayor Mandani so you can see it. The ridiculousness of the MTA and some of their drivers. I say some of their drivers, not all the drivers. Some of their drivers. Right? So yeah. So you telling me that bus could, the fact that it's not accepting any passenger, and all it's doing is going to the last stop on this line going in that direction that I'm going in, and then they got to come back, pick up passengers, and come back in this route. So you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. It's on purpose. It's deliberate. All right. And the fact that they have people out here, and look who they sent out here too, women, women, no meals, right? No meals, right? Women in their 60s and 70s, right? Women in their 60s and 70s, let me tell you. Hilarious. Yeah, so what have I shown you guys, right? After the New York Predator Department drove by, you start to see, out there using sirens. You start to see, it started flooding me with the color red. See, now it kind of calmed down a little bit now, and the color gray, right? So it started, it's still color graded, but it's not as much as before. Because remember, they do everything within a short period, right? So it might be 10 minutes of just, you'll see a lot of vehicles of one particular color. You know what I'm saying? Then they'll throw the red in there. Remember, like I said, red is a bold color, so it will always get your your attention, right? Just like the color yellow, a color pink, or the color like a bright green, a bright orange, right? That's what's going to happen. Okay. So yeah. See, they didn't think I was going to become an expert, right? But I became an expert, right? Just by, like I said, I keep saying, because I understand how they think, that they're going to give me all the proof that I need. All I got to do is just keep on exposing them, and they're going to give me that proof. Because when it comes to the psychopathic mindset and the sociopathic mindset, go read up about it. That's what they do. And they love to play games with their victims, because they think that no one is going to help the victims, or the victim is too weak to fight back. But that's why they injure you first, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the psychopaths and the sociopaths, they got to injure you, right? You know what I'm saying? So that you can't fight back. This is what they do to us as black people. This is what white people do to black people. They injure us. They injure us. Whether it be economic, mentally, health-wise, biological health, psychological health, cognitive health. They have to injure us. Physical health, they have to injure us so that we don't fight back. Like I said, economically as well, right? I understand what I'm saying. Go and read about the personalities of psychopaths and sociopaths. All right, the dark triad personality type traits. It's to make you powerless so that you cannot fight them back. And I'm not powerless. Oh well. Look at that. 40, what's it? Almost 45 minutes, right? Waiting for this bus to come. It is cold out here. I don't know what the hell she's wearing that short ass skirt for. It is not warm, okay? And I tell you, it's not warm, it is cold. Right? And where you going? You know what I'm saying? Where you going? Listen, she can wear whatever she want to wear. I'm just stating an observation. Like, it ain't cold out here, and it's raining. Like, come on, man. you know. I gotta give it to women. The women, you know, if you think women are not built tough, they are built tough, right? They give birth, right? They be out there in 27 degrees weather with no shoes on. I mean, that's not no shoes on. No socks on, no stockings, in a short skirt dress, or in some very short shorts, you know, with a jacket and a bra on, and they out there in the cold waiting outside to get into the club. You know what I'm saying? Women are built tough, right? Women are built tough, man. Let me tell you, they just are. You know, I love to see action movies with women starring. I think we need more women action stars, right? You know, there was a period where you had some great movies. Who was it? Proud Mary with what's her name? What is her name again? Shoot. Anyway, forget, black actress. Proud Mary. Then you had Anna. Then you had other movie. You had Anna. You had Hannah. He had another movie too with an assassin chick. Also the movie with Jennifer Lopez, Atlas. That was a great movie. Yeah, like I said, we need more female action stuff, particularly black female action stuff. Like literally, so you know, some kick-ass female action movies starring black actresses. See, that's a problem.
I don't know why this is running about.
Oh, that's an empty water bottle. I got mine in my bag.